Stages of attachment. When does the asocial phase occur? It occurs in the first few weeks. Number 2, what happens in the asocial phase? Infants become attracted to other humans, preferring them to objects and situations. Number 3, what are the 4 stages of attachment and when do they occur? The asocial stage occurs in the first few weeks. Indiscriminate attachment occurs at 3 to 8 months. Specific attachments occur at 8 months onwards. Multiple attachments occur as early as 9 months onwards. Number 4, what is the indiscriminate attachment stage? This takes place between 3 to 8 months. During this time, infants begin to discriminate towards familiar and unfamiliar people, smiling at known people. They will still allow strangers to handle and look after them. Number 5, what is the specific attachment stage? This takes place from 8 months onwards. Infants begin to develop specific attachments, staying close to particular people and becoming distressed when separated. This is separation anxiety. Number 6, what is the multiple attachment stage? This can begin as early as 9 months onwards. Within this stage, infants are able to form strong secondary attachments with people other than their primary caregivers, so for example, grandparents. A3, number 1. Supporting evidence comes from a longitudinal study by Schaefer and Emerson. Number 2, what did Schaefer and Emerson do? They looked at the relationships between newborn infants and their caregivers from 18 months. Follow-up interviews were also conducted with the caregivers. Number 3, how was attachment measured? Attachment was measured based on separation anxiety, which is when the infant is separated from the caregiver, and stranger anxiety, which is the infant's response to strangers. Number 4, what were the findings of Schaefer and Emerson's study? The majority of infants displayed separation anxiety between the ages of 6 to 8 months and went on to forming multiple attachments at 18 months. Number 5, when did they form multiple attachments? At 18 months. Number 6, when did they start showing separation anxiety? At ages of 6 to 8 months. Number 7, what do these findings show and suggest? These findings correlate with Schaefer and Emerson's stages of attachment, suggest that the process is biologically controlled. What is a methodological issue with the Schaefer and Emerson study, and what does this mean for the data? The data was collected by direct observations from the caregivers and this means that it could be prone to biases and inaccuracies, and this may weaken the validity and support for the research into stages of attachment. Number 9, evaluate Schaefer and Emerson's sample. The mothers were all from working class backgrounds, which means that the sample could be considered biased as it fails to represent caregivers from all social backgrounds. Number 10, why might this sample be a problem? Child rearing practices can vary depending on a family's financial status. Number 11, how does this impact the data? This weakens the population validity of the study because accurate generalizations cannot be drawn, thus limiting its support for stages of attachment. Number 12, who refutes one of Schaefer and Emerson's claims? What's the claim and what did they say about it? Carpenter refutes the claim that indiscriminate phase occurs at 3 to 8 months. Number 13, what did Carpenter find? He found that when presenting 2-week-old babies with familiar and unfamiliar voices, the babies were able to distinguish the voices and faces of their caregivers to strangers. Number 14, what does this suggest? It suggests that babies can recognize and are attracted to their mothers from an early age, which contradicts Schaefer and Emerson's belief that initially babies are attracted to any person interacting with them.